RDU, this is Do You Know Hearthstone? This is a very special Battlegrounds episode just for you. The idea of this is that I'm gonna change cards, whether it's gonna be your tavern tier, the text on their card, the artwork, the stats, basically anything that could be on a card can be slightly changed. For you specifically, I think that every single card only has one change, so you don't have to think about multiple. It's only gonna be one. And there is a special little trivia section just for you. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling great. I'm feeling special that I'm the first Battlegrounds streamer doing this.
This might be a little bit more challenging because you were the first one. It's hard to gauge on how hard I should go, what is fair and what isn't fair. I tried my absolute hardest to be as fair as possible. And because you told me that you played Battlegrounds from the beginning, it covers the entire time Battlegrounds has been out. So normally I start with a card, but I have a special thing just for you. What minion is this from?
I remember it because I was doing that sound line. It's not the Murloc. I would say it's Icky Imp.
It is not Icky Imp, actually. It is the play sound for when you play Unstable Ghoul.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I just knew it's not the Murloc. And I knew it's a sound that I made on stream previously, but I just couldn't remember what exactly it was. Okay, Unstable Ghoul. Gotcha.
I've tried to pick a card that was both in Classic Hearthstone as well as Battlegrounds.
If I was like more inspirational, I could have gotten it.
Okay. The next section, I'm going to show you art from the card, and you're going to have to tell me what card this is from. This will just be just an overall hint. All of these cards are currently in Battlegrounds right now. What card art is this from?
It's a Quillbore, the 2-star one, the 2-star Quillbore. It's the 5-free, the 5-free that is like 2 stars, and it's a Quillbore.
I will give you that. I will give you that. Even if there's no points on this show, I will give you that. It is Tough Tusk.
Yes, Tough Tusk. Like, I'm so bad with names. I'll try my best to like remember some of them. Most of the time when I want to say the name, I hover over Firestone, see the card name. Literally, I forget the card name, but I know what tavern tier it is. I go hover over the tavern tier to see the card name.
A lot of the pro players have told me that they just don't even think of the name. It's just like a blob of cards that they just know what it is. Especially at Battlegrounds too, because Battlegrounds are just replaying the same minions over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one.
This one is way more difficult. So it's a current card. Seems like a dragon. Let's say something wild. Wealth Smuggler.
No, it is not Wealth Smuggler. I will give you 2 hints because you're right. This one is a lot harder. It is a Tavern Tier 5 and it is not a dragon.
How much time do I have?
I guess technically unlimited.
Imagine if we just stay here like 10 hours to like guess one card.
6.5 hours later.
I give up. I don't know.
Okay, so this is Insatiable Ursul.
Oh, okay. Of course it is. Yeah.
What art is this from?
Is it a minion?
It is a minion.
I think it's from the 4-star Mechano Tank.
Yeah, you're correct.
I just recognized the wheel. The thing turning around.
I tried to zoom in as much as I possibly could on the dude. So you got 2 out of 3. That is awesome for the art. Let's go on to cards. So RDU, is this a real card?
This is not a real Battlegrounds card.
It's actually never been in the game whatsoever. Quick question for you. Do you think this card is playable?
Okay, let me read it because I saw yeah, I just told you it's not in the game because like the card art is like so wacky. Let me read the card. So after a Murloc leaves your warband, gain +1/+1 permanently. I don't think it would be good as a tier 5 minion. I think it would be slightly too weak. As a tier 4, I think it would be good to accumulate stats, especially 5/5 stat line. As a tier 5, sorry, it's just too slow. And most Murloc builds right now want to go for poison and then divine shields or some other ways of cheesing rather than full stats.
That makes total sense. This card has never been in the game whatsoever, but is this a real card?
This is a real card. It was Cthulhu's body. After a different friendly minion gains stats, gain +2/+2 until your next turn. I'm pretty sure it was +1/+1, but other than that, it's correct.
You are completely correct. It was +1/+1. I think this was one of the weaker buddies. Figured that maybe you didn't remember what it was because I don't think it was super playable at the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I kind of liked Cthulhu before they released bodies, and then I tried it with the bodies and I was disappointed, and I was like, come on, if it at least was +2/+2, then it would be viable.
Makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I ever got to play this because by the time everyone said the buddies came out, everyone said Cthulhu is absolutely horrible. What about this card?
This card was in the game when the game first came out. It was also a constructed card that I really loved. Wait, let me also make sure it's the right text, but I know that Sky Golem was in the game. All the golems were Shredder, Sky Golem, and Sneed, and now none of them are. But it was summoning a 4-cost minion, not a 3-cost minion, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, you are correct. It was a 4-cost minion. I didn't actually understand what this meant. Does that mean it summons a 4-star unit when it dies?
It summoned the 3-drop from constructed irrelevant of its stat line. Like, for example, it could summon Baron Reven there, which was a 5-drop.
Oh.
It was a 3-drop in constructed.
Interesting. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was working pretty crazy. That's why they removed it pretty soon. And it was also like that because basically all the cards from Battlegrounds were cards in constructed, so they could do it kind of like that.
What about this card?
Strong Shell Scavenger. This is one of my favorite cards to play, actually. When I'm having a bad game, I usually like to stay on Tavern 4. Let's say I already have a town. If I'm offered Argus, I buy Argus, and then Strong Shell becomes like a real good option to buff my minions. It is a 4-drop. It used to be a 5-drop. It is a 2-free, and it gives your town minions +2/+2, so it seems correct to me.
Yeah, this must not be one of your favorite cards because it's actually wrong.
Oh.
Unfortunately for you, it's actually still a Druid card in Battlegrounds.
Oh my god, I forgot about classes. Something seemed weird about it. I was looking just at the effect, but I forgot that classes exist. I just forgot about, yeah. Okay.
I added this in because when I did the video with Kripp, I did like the reverse with this, right? Where I put the Hydra as a neutral card rather than a hunter card, and he got baited from that. So I want to see if you understood that as well. All right, what about this card?
This card used to be at some point in Battlegrounds. It was a warrior card. It was a 4-drop. It was a 2/7. After a friendly minion dies, gain +1 attack. Yeah, I think that was the card.
Unfortunately, it's actually not the card.
Was it like after it takes damage?
After a friendly minion attacks, gain +1 attack.
Oh, okay. I think I'm too quick to like say it was the card because it's like only one small change. I'm just like too fast.
At the moment, I think you're breaking the world record here of how fast you're going.
This is also one of the main reasons why I'm not winning more games in Battlegrounds. Like, I'm literally like trying to do the play as quickly as I can, and then I'm left with 50 seconds, sometimes having done a mistake, thinking like, why don't I just spend like 2 extra seconds on this play?
You were a pro Hearthstone player, shouldn't you know to take your time?
I was also playing pretty fast in Constructed.
Well, I guess maybe this will be a learning experience for you. Maybe tomorrow when you stream, you'll actually take your time.
Did you end up taking your time today? More often than not, Rarran. More often than not. I took my time today with the plays. We don't want to misplay here.
What about this card?
Briny definitely exists in Battleground. It's a 3-drop. It's a 4/4. It's a pirate. I don't think gold coin is bolded. But let me read the rest of the card. At the end of your turn, if you have another pirate, add a gold coin to your hand. So yeah, I think it's a real card, but it's just not bolding the gold coin.
Yeah, you are entirely correct. The idea that I had there was that blood gems are bolded. So I wanted to see if you still remembered if gold coins were. What about this card?
Oh, it used to be the jug. So Menagerie Magician, 4 stars. It was neutral in constructed. 4/4, give a random beast, dragon, and mech. It was buffing Murloc instead of mech. Menagerie never buffed mechs in the beginning.
Yeah, you are entirely correct. Damn, Kripp knew that too. I should have done something different.
I think we played too much Menagerie in Battlegrounds. Everybody just was saying that if mechs were part of the original Menagerie, they would be so good. And now they're really good because they made the minions just buff whatever. And like mechs is one of the most vital parts of playing Menagerie because of their access to Divine Shield.
You made me realize if I do this with another Battleground streamer, I can't do the Menagerie with mechs because it's too obvious. What about this card?
Oh, I remember this card. At the end of your turn, if you have 6 or fewer minions, gain +3/+3. Yes, this was a real card, but it was a 4-drop. This would be insane as a 3-drop. It was really good as a 4 as well.
Oh, was it actually? Okay, yeah, you're entirely right. It is a 4-tiered minion. I thought at 4s this was actually garbage, but wow. I thought it was like such a huge disadvantage to have 6 minions on your board.
The way you were playing this card is like you're trying to discover it super early, and as a super early discovery, it was really good. And then when you got to the point in the game where it was very important to have 7 minions, you already had enough stats on it to just eat it with the Soul Devourer, if Devourer was still in the game. But I remember it didn't matter. I remember it was growing enough so that it's still worth it to have it in the early game. This was a very good card to discover, not so good card to buy unless you already had a copy, obviously.
Oh, interesting. See, when I was making this card, I was like, this is absolutely garbage. There's no way he's gonna remember this.
I think I remember most of the cards just by their image. Like, I don't remember like every single technical aspect. Like you caught me with Fester with Hulk, but some cards I remember, especially the ones I played.
What about this card?
This card was in the game very early on. Oh, it's a golden version of it. Oh my god. Oh, now I have to math. Summon a 3/2/2 Murloc. This means that the original one had to be a 5/7, summoning 3/1/1 Murloc. I think it was summoning more than 3, if I can remember correctly. Like 5, and they were 1/1s. Yeah, like the original card was summoning 5/1/1 Murlocs, and this should summon 5/2/2 Murlocs, I think.
Unfortunately, you are wrong. The death rattle is completely correct.
Okay.
The stats are correct. The tier is correct. Everything about this card is actually correct. It's just not a beast. The gold didn't even matter. It was a straight bait.
Yeah, I got wrecked.
When I was making these cards, I was like, the golden version might be a little bit too ridiculous because you have to do the math like you said. I didn't want to do that to you, but I figured I would slide one in to see if I could just get that past you.
Yeah, I was just focusing on the map part and I just like completely disregarded that it was a beast.
All right, what about this card?
Oh, Kripp's favorite card. It was only briefly in the game. Arcane Cannon. It couldn't attack. Oh, it wasn't a mech. It for sure was not a mech. Like 100% was not a mech because I would have remembered somebody moduling it. But other than that, it seems fine, I think. Yeah, it seems fine.
Yeah, you are correct. When I was looking at this card, I didn't think a mech would be extremely obvious because you said that you would want to module it, but would that even be good? Wouldn't you want to keep this card alive for as long as possible?
What I wanted to say with that is like when you were buying a module, you would have to like specifically pay attention to not module this by mistake.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
I think this card was different stats when it was released, but then it was nerfed to this form. So this was like final form, if I can remember correctly. Like it was a 2/5.
Probably should have said that at the start. Every single card in here is in its latest form.
Okay. I figured that out, but I'm just saying like it was even more ridiculous when it was released.
What about this card?
Oh, this card is interesting. The name was definitely like this, the Tavern tier. It was a neutral in constructed, if I can remember. It was a no type. It was a 4/4. Something still seems off about the card. Refresh Bob's Tavern with minions of your most common type. No, I think it's correct. I think it's a correct card.
Unfortunately, you were wrong. Refresh is bolded.
Oh, okay. I never saw that coming.
When picking this card out, you noticed earlier that the gold coin was bolded. I went for the reverse fade on this one as well.
Something seemed off about the card. I just couldn't say what, and I was like, yeah.
Also, you said this card was in constructed. It was not in constructed, and there's never been a card like this.
It wasn't? Oh yeah, it wasn't because it says refresh Bob's Tavern. I think I played just too much Battlegrounds.
You're long gone at this point. What about this card?
Okay, Drongsha making a comeback. So 2/3 becomes 4/6 when golden. Give your town minions +4/+4. Battle cry is bolded, taunt bolded. I'm looking for like every single detail.
You became so much more hero as we were going on.
Yeah, I should basically become a game designer at the end of the video. I'm not sure if the rarity was there. I don't think it was blue. It might have been an epic. I'm gonna say the rarity was wrong.
It's actually correct. The entire card's correct.
You got into my head.
Bro, you literally saw this like how many cards ago?
Yeah, I don't know, but I expect something to be wrong at the card and then it's not, and then like, oh.
Fair enough, dude, fair enough. So when you said it returned, I was like, maybe I could bait him with something. What about this card?
I don't remember this card ever being in Battleground. Yes, this card was not in Battleground. Wait, let me think a little bit more. If I remember correctly, we had Samuro and another Frenzy, but I don't remember these 3/4 Tavern 2 gain Divine Shield. Yeah, I would say even though we had Frenzy in Battlegrounds, I don't remember this card being there. But I remember playing it in Constructed, so like maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. But yeah, final answer. This was not in Battlegrounds.
It's not in Battlegrounds. I was trying to play with your mind to see if you remembered if it was only in Standard or...
It was really close because I was actually playing in Grandmaster at the time this card was released, and I was actually also liking this set. Yeah, it created a confusion there because like I was playing a lot of Battlegrounds but also a lot of Standard. There was for sure some friends, I just don't remember what it was.
Oh wait, isn't it in the game now? 5/8 Quillbore tier 5 when it attacks and survives or something?
Oh yeah, they brought that
Shield.
one back. Yeah. That was one of the more appreciated minions, mostly because it had Divine Shields and like people like Divine Shields. I think it's a good mechanic. It's a lot of like playing against and around. It is making it the game more interesting.
Speaking of a great mechanic, what about this card?
Yep, Boat. Everybody remembers Boat. I feel like if they ever bring the card back, they should just name it Boat. It was summoning 3 random pirates. It was a 6/4. But the name was the Tide Razor, not the Ocean Razor.
Yeah, you were correct. I was curious to see after you said you're not good with names to see if you could remember this, but you were entirely correct.
I actually remember it because of a joke. Whenever people were over calling this card Boat, I was like, guys, it's not Boat, it's the Tide Razor. Please be respectful.
What about this card?
This card was definitely not in the game with this card art. Whenever you refresh Bob's Tavern, gain +1/+1. No, I don't remember this card ever being in Battleground.
Yeah, you are correct. You gave me some false hope there with the wrong art. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna fall for it.
Where is this card from?
There's a site that has like custom cards, and some people have like custom Battlegrounds cards, so I was just going through it to see if any of the cards looked like they could be real. I think this card would be broken though because there's that refreshing elemental guy, right?
Yes.
On the same tier.
This card would definitely be broken as a 4. It would be interesting as a 5. Like, it would be more interesting than like some of the elementals that we have right now.
Yeah, elementals are kind of bad right now, right? If I remember correctly, it's like Nomi or bust.
Early Nomi, it's really good. Little Rag is super bad. Genie is super bad. This card would be really good though, yeah. Even as a 5, I think it would be really good.
What about isn't this card.
This card was in the game. I think it was in like a special event. I remember something related to Reno. Like, I remember it was in the game. Summon a random golden minion. It was in the game at some point. I just forgot exactly who summoned it. Okay, in Battlegrounds, it was a special 5-star Nat Pagel that summoned this chest for your opponent every single time you kill the minion. But I don't know if it had this exact effect. Summon a random golden minion. Your Nat Pagel was summoning this chest for your opponent, and then when you killed it, you were getting a card to your hand. It was not with the text of summon a random golden minion.
It actually was. It actually was. This card was summoned by Nat Pagel Extreme Angler, but they did actually end up changing the effect, obviously of Nat Pagel, but this card was actually unchanged because they just completely removed it. So that's why it is here. So this is what Nat Pagel does now. This is what you were thinking. His old effect was overkill, summon a 0/2 treasure chest.
Okay. I remember now. Nat Pagel is not even in the game right now, so like that's why it's like ultra confusing because it's like an old version of the OG Pagel, but I remembered the chest existing. I just didn't know exactly what it was doing.
Definitely did not happen super often.
I think I confused the part of like the newer one giving you the card to your hand and the older one summoning the chest.
This is your very last card.
Okay, let's end on a victory. I remember this card being in the game and it was shortly removed because it was just too bad and nobody was playing it. This was like when they did some big changes. They gave Pirates this as a 2-drop and then they took it out and then they brought back Captain. Now let's see if it was the correct effect. It was a 2-star. Wait, it might have been a 3-star. It was a 3/4. After you sell a pirate, add a random pirate to Bob's Tavern. I'm pretty sure it was a 2-drop and it was a pirate. Oh wait, it was a pirate itself. Wait, no, it wasn't a pirate. I think it was mostly bad because it wasn't a pirate. So that part is correct. It might have been a card from Constructed though. No, because it says Bob's Tavern. Wow, this is complicated. Okay, let me think. After you sell a pirate, so the name is correct. The stat line is correct. It wasn't a pirate. After you sell a pirate, it was doing something. It wasn't giving you a pirate to your hand. Okay, it was not after you sell a pirate. It was after you sell this. I don't know if it was exactly written like that, but basically after you sold this card, it would add a pirate to Bob's Tavern. Not after you sell another pirate.
That's your final answer?
Yes.
Unfortunately, you are wrong.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. But
It was after you upgrade your tavern tier, add a random pirate to Bob's Tavern,
Okay.
which is unplayable.
Yeah, even if it was like this, it would still be pretty bad. Even if it was like when you sell it, it would add a pirate, it would be pretty bad. Like look at Tad, like the new Murloc. It's when you sell the Tad, you get the Murloc to your hand. It was a pirate that was 2-star, like this, maybe with even lower stats, like 2/4, like that is. That was when you sell it, you get the pirate to your hand. Then we would be talking.
If you had this with Hogger on your side, or Golden Hogger, and you just kept buying and selling pirates, it'd be the best card in the game.
True. You are right. Actually, that would be way too broken.
All right, Artie, that was all of the cards. I hope you had fun.
It was definitely a learning experience and a fun experience.